to our allied youth organization in winning the following awards at their provincial conference. The Hammond Award for dedication to youth issues, the Dow Award for outstanding positive lifestyle initiatives, and to Jordan Pomeroy for winning the 2019 Sports Newfoundland Academic Scholarship, and to the staff and students of Laval High School for another very successful musical. I'd like to call for motion to adopt the agenda dated May 21st, 2019. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, seconded by Councillor Collins Power. All in favour? Motion carried. Adoption of the minutes dated April 30th, 2019, moved by Councillor Smith, seconded by Councillor Hines. Any errors or omissions? All in favour? Motion carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Move on to the action sheet. Any questions on the action sheet? Any new business? Move to the executive report. The executive committee met May 16, 2019 at 5 p.m. in attendance myself as the chair, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Councillor Kay Smith, Mary Green, acting CEO, and Rhonda Power, manager of tourism, to report. The executive committee made recommendations. 1. Council approved a respectful workplace policy as presented. Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Councillor Collins. Any questions?
I wrote notes on the weekend and I can't remember where they are. I got my note here. I believe it's under responsibilities. I don't, maybe it's just a wording, it's probably fine. It says, I gotta find it. It says expected. I gotta find where it is. And the guys wanted to, should it be shall. I gotta find what section's in. I should have had it. That's in our agenda, right?
Yes.
Executive committee agenda.
Yep.
Let's just see where, okay. Under meeting will be over and I'll have it back. Responsibilities, it said employees are expected to participate in respectful workplace training. Just wondered, should that be shall? Expected doesn't mean it's mandatory.
No,
Is it mandatory?
No, it would be expected to be mandatory. So shall, it should be replaced with shall.
I just wondered, is mandatory, all right?
Normally when the word shall, if you put the
Shall
word
is the
shall,
most.
it gives it more that you
Yeah.
have to do.
That's why I wondered if it should be shall, it's mandatory.
Certainly seems to me as,
Because down below, we do say, employees, it does say somewhere in the bottom that it is,
yes.
it reflects as mandatory. So I just wanted to make sure that one didn't contradict the other.
If it's anywhere that we feel that was mandatory, the word shall should be incorporated into the document. Is everybody in agreement with this?
Yes, it's used in the policy part.
Yes.
All employees shall take part in
Yes.
respectful workplace training, so you should reflect in the
So it's-
responsibilities.
Okay, yes. Okay. Any other questions? Call for motion. All in favor? Motion carried. That council approved the hiring of the cleanup crew as presented. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. The council approved the award of a multi-year capital works Dunbar Water Connection, project number 17 MYCW-18-000042 to the preferred bidder, NJ Hickey Construction Limited, for the sum of $904,025.09. Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. I think that was the only recommendation from the executive committee. Anybody have any other questions? Move on to the Public Works Committee report. Deputy Mayor. Oh, sorry, on the Finance Committee. That skipped over. Finance Committee report. Councillor Smith.
Finance Committee met on May 14th, 2019, and in attendance were Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Councillor James Fitzpatrick, Ms. Chiara, and from the staff was Mary Green and Rhonda Power as report. Finance Committee made the following recommendations. That Council approve the accounts payable transaction journal dated May 10th, 2019, in the amount of $25,775.77.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That Council approve the check register for the operating account in the amount of $122,085.54 for checks numbered 027700 to 027747.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That Council approve the special accounts check register for the month of May 2019.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Deputy Mayor, any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That Council approve the visa statement expenditure for the period March 27th to April 26th, 2019, totaling $551.35.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins. Questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That Council approve payment of $11,854.23 to Workers' Compensation Commission for yearly assessment fees. The amount is to be paid out in increments online upon receipt of invoices.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council approve payment of invoice number 3558316635, Solomon Water Solutions, in the amount of $2,414.98 to cover an emergency repair of the lift station at the Regatta site and inspection of the lift station near O'Reilly House.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council approve prorated adjustment of 2019 business tax only in the amount of $320.36 on account TOWNS001 to reflect that the business ceased operation on the date of receipt of the letter, which was April 29th, 2019.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins. All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council approve prorated adjustment of 2019 business tax only in the amount of $266.68 on account MNHER 015 to reflect that the business ceased operation on the date of receipt of the letter, May the 10th, 2019.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council adjusts account GRIF B005 in the amount of $50 to reflect cancellation of accessory building permit approved in 2016. And this does not include the non-refundable $25 administration fee.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favour? Motion carried. Councillor Collins.
That Council approved payment of $4,000 to the Placentia Area Historical Society as budgeted.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favour? Motion carried.
That Council approved a $150 donation towards the LaValle High School Scholarship Fund for the 2018-2019 school year.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. All in favour? Motion carried.
That Council approved travel expenses and accommodations totaling $1,092.72 for firefighter Bixby to attend pumper training in Warrenville from May 26th to May 31st, 2019.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins Power. This is all in the budget, yes?
Yeah.
All in favour? Motion carried.
That council approve expenditure up to $3,000 for completion of dressing room number 6 at Unity Park from building maintenance account.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Councillor Hines. All in favour? Motion carried.
And that's the report.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Any other questions on the Finance Committee? Move on now, Deputy Mayor, to your Public Works Committee.
The Public Works met on May the 15th. In attendance was myself, Councillor Hines, and Councillor Collins. Mr. Garrett, Public Works Superintendent was there. Ms. Stoops was recording, and Mrs. Garrett was absent. The Public Works made the following recommendations. Council approved the application for Michael and Alice McIntosh to construct a patio at number 18 Bankers Road, Placentia. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Hines. All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for Philip and Annabelle Call to construct a shed at 1317 Back Path Road, Freshwater. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Hines. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Town of Placentia / Placentia Area Heritage to construct an extension to Hut 66 to 68 Orchid Drive, Placentia. Permit must include the stipulation same material used as a regular building. So moved.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Hines. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Thomas O'Keefe to construct a fence at number 14 Swan Road, Placentia. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Thomas Power. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Stephen and Susan Bartlett to construct a garage at 8 Kelly Crescent Southeast. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Scott Stone to construct a garage at 16 Larkin Drive, Freshwater. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Smith. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Dwayne and Madonna Whittle to construct a shed at 128 Bonds Path. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Keith Griffin and Denise Maher to construct a porch and a garage at 194-204 Southeast Road, Placentia. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Collins. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for a vendor permit, Our Lady of Angels, for selling tickets at Placentia Mall. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favour? Motion carried.
Note for conflict for this one.
Councillor Hines leaving due to a conflict in relation to the next agenda item.
Council approved the application for a vendor permit, JH Tourism, Business Development and Event Planning. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Smith. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Gerard Smith at 2807 Hill for greenhouses, and any further development requires a comprehensive development plan. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application of C-Cans to be considered as an accessory building, providing they will follow the same regulations as an accessory building. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor, second? Councillor Hines. So, any questions?
Is it-
Yes.
I just wondered-
Councillor Collins back.
Was this already in a regulation somewhere already?
No,
Oh, this is, okay.
we have accessory building regulations and the accessory
But the
building.
C-CAN part.
However, the C-Cans, we were, that we did not want to see cans because of their unsightliness, etc. And the committee was going to come back and do a recommendation if sea cans were to be used, the criteria in order to utilize sea cans. Excuse me, so, in the application, in the motion that's being presented, the accessory building sea cans can be used for accessory buildings, excuse me, if it's going to be the same regulations as accessory, excuse me. Does that mean, like, in my interpretation is the siding, et cetera, has to comply with the residential and the main house?
Correct, that is correct. What the deal is allow the residents to use the sea cans, but as the same as an accessory building. So if you're building a shed, your shed gotta match your house. If you're putting a sea can there, it gotta match the house, so it gotta match the materials within your house or whatever you're designing. So it's got to meet the same requirements. So it's no different if you're building a shed, but you're using that as your shed, but it got to meet your accessory building requirements outlined in our regulations by the town.
That includes placement on your property.
Correct, all setbacks and all that gotta be met in order for that to do it. And if you got another shed and you try to put a sea can on it, that's also gotta have a certain percentage of your property and it's all outlined in your regulations.
Accessory buildings can only be, I believe, 25% of the area of your main building. So again, the only question is there, is that if we approve sea cans, and the individual decides, yes, I'm going to put a sea can there, and they do not conform, and now we have sea cans, would there be a deposit fee, refundable deposit fee or something there, that once you get it complete, you would then get your deposit fee back, possibly, or something that goes to
We
consideration?
also need a timeframe, Mr. Mayor, for completion of that.
We would treat it no different if anybody applied for a shed. Somebody come in today and we just applied for a shed here for a regular shed. The sea can would fall under the same rules and regulations as shed. If you do not conform to the rules, then you expect to get a letter to remove your shed from your property. Then after that, we follow a procedure, we put in court for removal just like we would of any other thing. So there's a process that gotta go through and has to be followed in order. This now gives us an avenue to give the residents an option of how they want to use the sea can within the guidelines of the property that they have. No different than if you build a shed. So somebody could have it, they could dress it up, it could look just like a shed, it could look great. No different than would if somebody come ask us to build a shed at the same size.
And that's my concern, that the mayor could. They could do this, they could. If they don't, and just a question of concern about if they don't do that. Because currently we have sea cans there now. To me, if people build a shed, they build a shed, and they start a shed, they may not have to complete the shed this year, it may be a couple years actually completing a shed, depending on financials or et cetera. Would there be a time limit on sea cans, or would we see an influx of sea cans and not being conformed to us? That's the only question.
That is definitely something that we can take and go back and have a look at as a public works committee, and probably come back with something else. You're gonna see a big influx in the next month, but something we can definitely look at, and if there's something we can put the time frame around that, frame it up.
Now that we've specified what regulations they'll fall under, it'll give people more information about how to make the next step. So I think that's a win-win for us as long as we keep our foot on the gas with making sure the regulations are followed.
All accessory buildings are supposed to conform with the main building, right? Okay.
And the committee will, what's their, I guess that'll be a committee level then, the ones that are already on site. So-
Anything outside will still be treated the same way. Will be a letter go to residents, and now we got something to say, because before it went out, we never had no clear direction on what we could do with the sea cans. Now we're taking a clear direction to allow residents to actually conform with the regulations of the town with an accessory building. Before, we never had that wasn't in place. So if somebody wants to hold on to it, they keep it, they can be able to put siding on the side of their sea can, it matches their house.
Yes. Okay, so the intent is that it has to conform, and obviously some of the sea cans that have been shown around, actually, you wouldn't tell that they were sea cans while they were done in the condition they were.
There's some, yes, and there's some around town that are just laid in areas that don't conform to anything.
Okay.
No matter what they do, they gotta be moved to conform.
Okay, any other questions?
Comment is when people we know that sea cans now, it would be good that we're actually going forward and the information they would need. So kind of on a go forward basis, they'll probably get that or be aware of it, made aware of it when they come in for their application. But those folks that actually have them now, we'll be sending them out the information that they need to have. So hopefully it's a smooth process.
Any other questions? Call for the question, all in favour? Those against? Motion carried.
We've had some deferred applications here. If anybody got any questions about anything that's deferred, we're certainly, no, I have one more actually. The last one is council award English paving to complete the work throughout the town at $3 a square foot with a 2-year warranty as per budget. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. All in favour? I don't think there's any much question on this. All in favour? Motion carried. Obviously, this year we're trying to get the paving done sooner or earlier. The street sweeping and everything is, today I think we started with our cleanup crew, which is obviously just passed. And we're trying to get stuff done in the earlier of the year rather than the latest. So this will get some much needed paving, hopefully get corrected immediately.
So some other things there, dilapidated properties, the committee reviewed dilapidated properties. The enforcement officer presented some pictures to council, and there is letters to go out to people with dilapidated properties. Council is very strong on making this happen, for people to clean up around their property, so you can expect to see a more stringent approach to that coming up in this summer. The cleanup crew, as the mayor just talked about, that is started today. I think I counted like 20-something bags of garbage picked up on the side of the road on the way down from Dunsville already, so they started today. I believe there's a few more people starting tomorrow. The town has purchased a wood chipper, which helps with when we do some brush cutting and stuff around, that now we can actually mulch it up. And with the hope that if we do have enough mulch, that we can certainly allow residents to avail of that, to use that at their own discretion free of charge. Instead of, certainly better. Street sweeping and line painting, we're waiting for some quotes to come back on that. You can expect that probably within the next month, and we'll have that moving. Other than that, we're pretty well. That's it. If anybody got any questions on anything, they're certainly willing to bring it forward. The only other thing is the work order system. We're going to do some more trying to get it out there. We're going to do some more activities. It's going to be in our newsletter. It's going to be, hopefully we'll see some more social, on social media, trying to get people to actually email Public Works or call it in, so we can put it in a work order system and take it as it comes called in, so which is a lot more efficient and a lot better if people call in the issues of concern, and we can pick them off through a work order system. So we really need to, we're really going to try to push that over the next number of months in the summer, and hopefully get people into the habit of phoning in the concerns or issues or emailing, and we can log them into the work order system. And other than that, that's it. We do have a list comprised for transportation and works. There was a survey out while the election was on, but that was cancelled because the election was on hold. It should be released again soon. I know there's at least 14 or 15 items that have been identified, probably more maintenance items that need to be done by transportation works throughout the summer, just around the roads eventually. And other than that, that is it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Mayor, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, Councillor Fenn.
How long have we been using the work order system?
We have been probably since probably February. I know it's about 6 or 8 months, about 8 months, but it hasn't been like, we haven't really pushed it hard enough. I don't think we've done a good job of pushing it for people forward. I don't think we've done a great job of that.
Have you communicated that?
Yeah, we put it out, it was communicated out, but I think we need to continue to communicate it more to get it out there.
The work order system, with the intent of the council was everything will be logged with a number. So you start off obviously work order number 1, number 4, 5, right down up through chronological order. And it gives us then the work order system will be able to track stuff that's not completed. So once something's generated a work order, then if something gets fell and forgotten about, won't be forgotten about no more, because the work order system, Adam can go through his department and go back and look at unclosed work orders and say, oh, this is maybe something small that wasn't getting done, and if you get this being done. So it's a good tracking method to get us more proactive, so people are calling up Now, the point is made, the contact is done, if there's a work order created to do that, no concern. Then we'll actually know then it's not going to be taken off the work order system until it's closed out then by a.
Yeah, I
Yes.
understand that.
But it's not
I was
actually-
trying to recall how long we've been using it.
We started out in the beginning, we were going to actually do a computerized one, try to do something under our soft, but anyway, I believe Mr. Green and some of the staffing developed a work order system, however, it has been working and we're hopefully going to see improvements to get it working because it is a very effective tool. Councillor Hines.
I do believe they were, our public works discussions, using that comment, get information into it, like, because it was really, they were starting with the skeleton, so I had to put things in to see how it works, see what flows, see what did.
I was just asking the question around how long we use it, because I was trying to, it seems like it's longer than that, but.
And it might be, I think when we first announced it, probably longer, I guess, in this, getting the format down that worked, I think it took a little while for that.
Right.
But I know that, it has not been consistent enough what we would like, for sure.
The other question is just for clarification around the deferred application around Coons Funeral Home for the emergency exit. And then it says no permit issued for the chapel extension.
Are we going to, if there's no permits, it's going to be done, but if you're.
I'm just saying, is it in relation to the emergency exit, or is there another extension
There was-
applied for?
The extension that was applied for, that the exit is two, there is no occupancy permit in place for that right now. So the component got to get their occupancy permit in place before we can even look at an emergency exit.
For chapel.
Correct.
So as the committee is still requiring other information in order to proceed with the property.
Yeah, so I'm just, it's just for clarification, number one, that's the only one I'm talking about, not for the occupancy permit. It's for the emergency exit for further information. There's no, and there's no permit issued for the chapel extension.
No occupancy.
No occupancy, it should be no occupancy, there's a permit that was issued, but there was no occupancy permit issued yet.
Council did approve the extension for, which remember, there was much discussion on the occupancy authority development permit for the chapel. That was a problem.
And that's why I'm asking for clarification. Is this a new application for another extension
Sure,
on the
no.
chapel?
It might have been the way it was worded as
Okay.
minutes. That's
Okay, so it's
No more.
around the emergency exit, right? That deferred application?
Yes, for the emergency exit.
Okay, all right. I was just making sure I wasn't missing anything.
It makes it look like, what it looks like two.
Yeah, it looks like two permits.
two
Did one at a time,
permits.
please. Thank you. Just wait. Can chatter back and forth, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Councilor Fitzpatrick, is your concerns answered?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
I have, I meant to ask this, line painting, I know it's not the same group that does it. Are we also gonna paint the sidewalk by green donut this year, then, what do we call it?
Pride.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all included in the budget. There's a number of crosswalks. Dunville, Lower Road, we looked at again. Anything that was completed in the past year will be done again this year.
This time now, our street sweeping, obviously, we're going to be moving forward on that pretty quickly here with our lawn painting and our patch coat repairs, et cetera.
And my other question was just around wood chipper, and I'm sure this is just common knowledge, but the wood chipper will be like, everybody be trained on it, all the workers at Public Works? I mean, I know, it looks like it's a tow along, from what I could tell online.
That's, that'll be an operational requirement up to the public works superintendent, but he determines it, obviously, you know.
So not everyone will,
No,
like,
he'll
because I know
determine
it's
because,
safety and stuff is
yes,
also.
Mr. Green, I'm sure, will ensure that those that are operating it will be trained safely.
And that was outlined in our public works meeting and stuff.
Yes. Okay, any other questions for the Deputy Mayor of Public Works? Okay, move on to the Public Safety Committee.
Public Safety Committee took place, had their meeting on May 15th to 6:30. Present was myself, Councillor Hines, Councillor Collins Power, and staff members were Public Works Superintendent Adam Green, and recording was Kathy Duke, as our, we had one of our staff members who were absent, wouldn't be able to do that meeting, so we had another person step in. We still have some, our radar signs reports are coming in still. We still have concerns with excessive speeds, and it's an ongoing concern. We're trying to, we're moving the radar signs around now. We have one moved, actually two moved, one to Brody Avenue, which is up around the hospital, and one at Frecker Place. And the reason for Frecker Place was because we did have a concern of person there was saying about, the high speeds there at the beginning of it, so we do have one in place there. We'd also questioned about putting in speed bumps around. We're still looking into that. There's nothing confirmed on, but we're just checking into the speed bumps. Next, we have the fire training. We have a firefighter who's going to be attending some training from the 26th to the 31st, some valuable training. So, and we had some questions which were answered back through the fire chief. Battery Road, we have an issue of a one-way. Battery Road in Jersey side is actually only a one-way street. So we're asking people to, be aware that that's only a one-way street. And our enforcement officer would be going around and just informing people that is actually a one-way street. We have some concerns on the turn at the bridge, down at the new bridge, and the speed rate there is 50 kilometers an hour. We're asking it may be lower. We'd like to see it a little bit lower because of the turn there, because the way, when the bridge was built, the way we were explaining, the turn wouldn't be the way it is now. It was almost like an S shape to keep people slowing down, but it didn't happen that way, so we're going to be looking at getting that lowered. And also we have a concern with the state of the rocks on the bridge for people walking and wheelchair accessibility. So we have that also included into DOT for cleanup. The town's cleanup crew is also started, so we're asking people to notice that there's going to be people down off the sides of the road, in ditches, picking up garbage, and we're just asking our residents to be extra cautious when you're around. There will be objects out marking where our workers are too. So we're just asking everybody to keep a close eye. And that's it for public safety.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. Any questions on Public Safety Committee? Move on to the Culture and Tourism Committee report. Councillor Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. We met on May 10th. I was the chair, Jane Hines. We had Councillor Kay Smith, Councillor Noel Collins was working, and Rhonda Power, the manager of Tourism American Communications, was our resource person, and Catherine Smith was our recorder. Just one second, I'll get the correct pronunciation. It's Miao-Bogek, the Miao-Bogek First Nation event. Well, Colleen Lambert, who was the Tourism, Culture and Recreation Manager of the First Nation group, which is from Con River. We're communicating back and forth with some information, which hopefully should help with an event that'll tie in with Placentia. I'm not sure what our goal will be later on in the summer. The Voices Festival 2019, we actually had a meeting today, and the plans for that are going well. It'll be a little different this year because we don't have the big Laval reunion, so we're adjusting and making it just as enjoyable, but we probably don't have to worry about the big handling of the crowds or all the different functions that's tying in. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic event and more bang for your buck. The Irish hosts, we have the Irish love coming to Newfoundland, especially Placentia. I think there's up to 70 people now are coming with that group. We do have some host families, thank you very much, but we do need some more. So you can email Ms. Power or call our extension at the council office here. We've done our advertising for the year, which is already got good feedback on that. The Canada event, we received funding from Canadian Heritage to cover the cost of fireworks, and that's been approved and ordered. The committee discussed planning the event and decided it would consist of a DJ entertainment. Because we wanted to adjust our budget to make sure that we attend to things we didn't get to do before in the other years, we're kind of always looking at our budget to best, define what best suits the year and the event. And this year, we're just doing a minor modification to it and having DJs entertainment, and the location will be at the Regatta Grounds or at the arena. And we'll coordinate with the people who help us look after that, with Public Works as well as the fire chief. the wayfinding signing project. I think everyone at Cosentia is going to be so happy when they actually see it. They're gorgeous. The design work for some of the big Cosentia signs are using our new logo and everything, of course. But the design kind of looks like the old Castle Hill rocks and rock wall and stuff. So I think it's going to be, people are going to be really impressed. I was certainly, when I saw the drawings, it was really, really quite nice. Summer staff is here, town newsletter. Again, we have some information for tourism being listed in that newsletter as well. And at our community consultation, which Councillor Collins Power will talk about after, the committee has asked that the convent redevelopment be included as a topic for the next community engagement. So that's coming up very soon, and hopefully we'll get some more public information or public input on it. That's it. It's a busy season coming up, and we're looking forward to having people involved.
Thank you, Councillor Hines. Any questions?
I have a question, I've got a suggestion. Around your Canada Day event, the Music and Friends group is something that you may want to consider, which was brought together by the manager of recreation and community programming. And with the talent that's in this area, it could be another thing that you could.
It's fantastic. We were looking at just at our budget because the sound system costs so much money and the stage costs so much money. So we might be able to move that money then to another type of event where you get, where it's not weather-based and all that kind of stuff as well. So yes, we're going to be using the guitar groups a lot this summer, but the DJ music doesn't need a stage or doesn't need a sound system. Not that we're not going to not use the sound system or live entertainment again. We're just going to kind of move it around this year a little bit to see where change up a little bit.
Thank you, Councillor Hines. I'm sure we'll have another wonderful Canada Day celebrations. Any other questions? Okay, move on to the Recreation Committee report. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
The Recreation Committee met May 13th, and in attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Lorraine Collins Power, and Deputy Keith Pearson, Manager of Recreation Community Program, as well as a recorder, Catherine Smith. We got 2 recommendations. One is Committee recommends that council keep the arena open during the day for fitness room access from 9 to 4.
Move. Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, have we talked about staffing or anything of the arena? Would there be intent on staffing?
There wouldn't be staff required for the arena. I'm trying to think now, without using their names. I don't know their positions. Danny and Dick will be back and forth there during the day, but we also...
Would we want the public building open just for people to come and go? Or would we actually know that yes, certain days a week would open? Would it be 7 days a week, 5 days a week? Would be in schedule?
It would be Monday to Friday.
Because my opinion, if we have a building open, the building we need, somebody should be present in the building. It just can't be an open building.
So it wouldn't be an open building. One of the things that we talked about as a committee was there's outdoor access to get upstairs on the end of the building, and to limit access to the rest of the building, we could put locks on the door that goes to the arena, and then you'd go up the stairs and you would have access there. There would be no access out to where the karate room is, multi-purpose room is, and our cameras are there as well. So it would be to the new fitness area.
It's great to see, but I'd like to see more into and about the staffing issue there, because if we have timelines or schedules or something, more discussion under it all about the operation, because even though we may have some workers are back and forth, that this may not necessarily be there at all times. And to leave the town building open, and just for people coming in and out and going, I mean, I don't have concerns with that. I think that if we're going to do that, then we should have something being staffing there at the times that it is open. No, to have it just come in and go. Again, we have the fitness equipment. Who's going to be responsible for the equipment if it happens? If somebody can just come in and go, I have concerns out there then, and I think that the committee should, do some review or get some consideration there of how we may staff it. Maybe something with a student, maybe something there that we can end up having to go do it. But just have a town building left open. without.
So it would be for the duration until the summer student starts. So it's that time frame because when does summer students start? I think after Canada Day?
Usually around that.
After Canada Day. And that's what we were suggesting for the interim, rather than not have access to.
I'd like to see I would like to see a, statute, something that we can't just have it open buildings for the town. I mean, we have arts, we have this building, we have public works, any of the town buildings, we can't just have a come in and go and utilize the building as this, right? I can't see it, right?
Mr. Mayor, isn't the building going to be used for a recreation program during the summer for bad weather? So we would still have to have somebody there.
If the building is open, fine, I mean, if the building is open,
Yes.
utilize there, but I mean, just to say that the building is going to be open 9 to 4, Monday to Friday, and no staffing there, right? I think that if we're going to do it, I would suggest that the committee come back and actually come up with a schedule or something. If we have people in the building, we should have presence in the building. Let's be mindful from the safety aspect, from everything else related to relation with the building, right? So I'd ask that the committee review or try to come to something if we can get a, I don't think we should have a building open just to come and go. That's my opinion. Maybe I shouldn't dictate the chair if I'm going to get involved in any discussion here, but I just have concerns, right? And the master committee have to identify the concerns for the town building just being open for people to come in and go.
But right now, we could leave it while we got our workers there, because our workers are there for how long now? They won't be, no worker now?
To come and go.
No, and to me, if we had a schedule, if we knew when the workers will be there, we could coordinate something with, with the Public Works Committee, when will they be there, identify there. I have no problem is if people usually in our building utilize the building for there. However, if there's nobody there, then it'll be a problem. And I think we'd have liability issues, we have a lot of issues, so. Okay, anyway, do you want to make the motion to open it? Or give it some further consideration?
We'll defer it until the next, committee.
Yeah, if we can get some consideration there, because it would be.
Does any other councillors have any other comments or suggestions?
So I'll ask your committee then just to get some information and get something there.
So the issue is really between now and July 1st, when our summer student starts? That's when we're looking at?
Well, really between when board leaves.
Okay, so currently the building is open, that people are in, if people are in our building, fine, but if they're not in, right, there'll be an issue, right? I think that committee, do some review and do some consideration and come back to that.
I think right now all the new committees in place for it.
Okay, anything else? You said 2 recommendations?
Yeah, the other one is not on your report. My apologies. That council approved travel expenses and accommodations for the manager of recreation and community programming to attend Recreation Annual Conference in Gander, May 27th to the 31st, as per budget.
Budget item? Yes. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Councillor Speed. Any questions?
Is that one person or two?
That's one person.
All in favor? Any questions? Motion carried.
That's all of our recommendations. The fitness room is, I think that we just referred to it. The equipment is in place. And some of the pieces of equipment that are there is a 4-station multi-gym, a treadmill, elliptical, rowing machine, there's dumbbell racks, there's dumbbells, there's a fitness bench there as well. And the rest of the items that we talked about during the recreation committee was the 6 dressing rooms. So over the summer, the 6 dressing room will be started to be put back in place. And I think that the staff have already started that, which is no. Okay, they haven't started that. The summer workers, they should be starting soon as well. The summer program, there's 13 summer employment positions approved through PATA for the summer program, and positions have been advertised, and the closing date was May 17th. There is a correction for the splash pad tender that we did talk about. I'm trying to look now for my notes here. So one of the things that we talked about around the tender, and I know that the executive was discussing this, but I do want to reflect it in our notes, is we had concerns with the 50% upfront distribution of the funds for the award of the tender. And we're thinking along the lines in a range of 25 to 30% was the general consensus from our committee, with the remainder being distributed upon their arrival and approval and confirmation that the items were intact and not damaged. So I just wanted that reflected.
Okay, so you're right, in about the budget, but the executive committee was reviewing was a release of 50% to the successful bidder up front before anything was delivered. Now you're suggesting 25%?
25 to 30% on the award.
Okay, because even the intent and discussion of executive committee, why would we pay for anything up front until we actually get the product in place?
Well, that's the discussion that happened at the committee table. And that's what we wanted to go forward to, what the executive decides to do with that.
We haven't, we're just some more information discussion we got forward to that.
That's all. I just want to reflect it, that it wasn't under the splash pad tender that we had a discussion around the upfront percentage to be distributed. And the other piece is we also had some conversation about the newsletter and reviewed the newsletter, the portion of the newsletter that pertained to recreation. And then the softball season is soon starting up. So the schedules are being awaited on by the manager from the Softball Association, who will be given first preference to the field times. And the Recreation Advisory Committee, they're having a booth at the Age Friendly Fair that's scheduled for this Friday. Next Friday, May 31st at 11:30. And they're going to have a list of various recreation activities and facilities of the town that's within the town that's available. And that's it from the Recreation Committee.
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Move on to community engagement and communications. Councillor Collins Power.
Our committee met on May 7th, and the attendance was myself, Councillor Collins, Councillor Fitzpatrick was absent due to work, and staff were Ron Fowler, Manager of Tourism Marketing and Communications, and our recorder was Catherine Smith. We don't have any recommendations from our meeting, just a couple of items. We discussed, again, the upcoming community consultation, which we have scheduled for June 26th. So we're looking at some changes to how we facilitate that just as a trial, this coming meeting. So as Councillor Hines said, we will be asking people to come forward if they have any comments or want to discuss the convent development. And we're also going to discuss, the topic will be town cleanup and beautification, which is currently ongoing. So we're hoping that people will get their before and after pictures so we can show those and really highlight the clean town that we'll have and continue to have after that point. With regard to the newsletter, we discussed that, and my understanding is that probably is gone out, or will be going out, I would say, very soon. And we've all looked at it, or we'll be looking at it as a committee. We also discussed some incentives for cleanup. So as advertised, there will be prizes for any groups. We ask you to let us know if your group is going to get involved, and again, remember to take your before and after photo. And we also, again, Adopt a Spot incentive will be starting up. It's always ongoing, but it's just something that we'd like to put out there. We're relaunching that again. And I believe that's all. So yeah, just a note to our residents that we will have our cleanup will be coming up on the next weekend. This weekend, yeah, 26th. And then in June, we have our community consultation, which we'll have a meeting before then, but just if people will put it on their radar for upcoming events that they could be involved in.
The one in the community challenge, Was that actually initiated? I see your date was May the 25th. Excuse me, for the, is that out now, that 3-hour community challenge? Has that been out and notified? So
Yes,
that's moving and going, okay, good. And your Adopt a Spot.
yes.
The Adopt a Spot seems that, yes, Adopt a Spot is a great idea to get individuals, residents, or businesses to adopt a spot and try to make the town clean, because again, the place is terribly, terribly dirty. Like, look at the ditching, look at the, you know, the refuse that's put around, it could be from here, by Gentry to Dunman, out through southeast, and it's very, very terrible. And even though today, I think the deputy just said that in Dunman, there was 20 odd bags of garbage collected today in Dunman. You know, it's clean there now, Council Howard, but you know, if it keeps going, the trend next week is going to be dirty again. And, you know, that's certainly unacceptable. But on the adaptive spot, maybe like, you know, if the committee could actually identify some spots in areas or sections of road, and then we can put it out there trying to get somebody to actually adapt this section. Because it seems like we're asking, you know, people, individuals, communities, whatever, to come and adapt a spot for us, but let us identify a spot.
Yeah.
And maybe we can say, look, we're looking for these adaptive spots, we'll show the areas that, you know, take sections or parts of road or whatever the case, and then maybe that'll entice more people to try to adapt a spot, especially if it's close to them or it's near them, or if they have an attraction to it for some reason or another.
We have, I know Ms. Power mentioned, there is one resident who does his own and unofficially adopt a spot. So there are some people that do their own, you know, around their yard or in their community. But yeah, it certainly would be good if we had more people involved with that, or give some kind of incentive.
But the beach road, like we took the beach road, and we took the intersection from the Camden building in Freshwater to the Y. We took from, you know, the Y to Argentia. We took the, you know, sections of road. And maybe we can identify stuff there, you know, like the bingo card game, and everybody buy a number or buy something. We try to get people to buy into adopt a spot. So let us get there. Then, you know, we got a spot that nobody's there now. We do a little bit more advertising, do communicating, trying to get somebody to take over the spots that have identified that nobody really wants to take ownership. Okay, just some thought.
Another note there is a barbecue, community barbecue at the end of the cleanup on Saturday.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Councillor Power. Next, we'll move. Any other questions for
I have a quick question.
Councillor Hines?
Does the deputy mayor know where the barbecue is?
Does
No, I'd say we check with the fire department, they would know where.
Okay. Is there, maybe at the art center, is it? Okay,
okay.
all right.
So at the Art Centre, community barbecue after the cleanup and okay. Thank you. Next, we'll go to any other questions? No? Correspondence. In the correspondence, we got any questions? Okay, the Route 100, there was some information about the road line painting. Obviously, with the town's attention, we have been in discussions with Department of Transportation and activities within our municipality. We were successful for a couple of years in achieving some funding to do some of our own initiatives, you know, that's related to provincial roads. And the road line painting, obviously, yes, it's every year we were sending off to government the importance of getting the road line painting and upgrading to the roads prior to the start of the Green Atlantic Ferry service. So again, there'll be letters written again and looking for cooperation from the Minister of the Department of Transportation in assisting this. Argentia Gold. Argentia Gold has received its approval for Section 35 of the cannabis regulations. They were officially notified that on May the 3rd, under the cannabis regulations, a license for cannabis cultivation, processing, and sale was issued to Argentia Gold Corporation, located at 12 Marquis Avenue, possession of land. So that was a bit of a hang-up. So on May the 3rd, the licensing was actually issued there. So hopefully with this area, you're going to see some employment issues soon generated in that area. Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, infrastructure studies. The other one I'd like to bring up is Architecture 49. There's been concern about the Placentia Regional Wellness Centre. Architecture 49 has is engaged to be the owner advisor for the town of the St. Champions project, representing the town, the province, and the federal government as the owner advisor. They are starting a kickoff meeting the week of June the 3rd to the 7th, and on June the 6th, 2019, there's going to be a public session, 6:30 to 8:30 at the Art Centre. More information is available on the town's website. So the town is currently working with Architecture 49 to develop the design criteria for a new regional wellness centre. We want to hear from you. Please join us to learn more about this project and share your thoughts. So there's going to be stakeholder meetings throughout the week of June 3rd to the 7th. And June the 6th, it's actually a public session at the Art Centre. And that's about it for me. Any other questions on correspondence? No? Okay, around the table. Councillor Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the 10th year for the Art Centre, 10th anniversary. And our Wild Rose group, people who look after their gardens, they've won heritage awards and making sure their property and surrounding areas are beautiful and add to the town landscape. We're actually going to be going out to them with possibly a request to start a new process where they actually help us with the beautifying of our different areas. They have beautiful flowers and perennials and stuff that I'm sure they always like to share. So we're looking at maybe developing a couple of planting days or preparing the ground for planting and stuff, just to kind of, these are fantastic gardeners who do a lot, who love to do it, and are more than happy, well, hopefully are going to be more than happy to partake in that. So we'll have more information coming out soon on the website as well. And when you're doing your town cleanup, please be careful. Wear a pair of gloves, watch for sharps, watch for glass. You know, if you need help or you see something that you need to do, contact the numbers from the town. I would imagine that people have on their phone, on their cell phones that day, or call one of the counselors that you know the number of. But just if you see something that really needs to be dealt with by professionals. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Councillor Hines. Councillor Collins.
Now we're getting some nice weather. Just remind the residents that a lot of the kids now are out riding their bikes in the evening, and there's a lot of people out with strollers, with the children going around the town. So just ask you to be extra cautious around with those. And also this time of year, as every other year, we always get those little wildlife visitors around town. They've been saw the other night on Facebook. There's a fox. Not just a fox, I'm sure there's foxes hanging around up at the Black House. And you'll also start seeing some moose getting around and see posts around, but just keep an eye to the town's website, because we have been putting up stuff about just warning you of the wildlife that's possibly getting around. So, but if you happen to see them and you got your camera out, take a picture and send it to us, and I'll certainly post it to our website. And that's about it.
Thank you. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I'd just like to speak to, we all received a request from the Route 100 committee looking for support to send a letter on behalf of council to ensure the quality and removal of sand in such places as the Y. So I'm just putting it to the rest of the council that I feel that is something that we should do, and other councillors can chime in. They had a meeting a couple of weeks ago at the Dunbar Lions Club, and they were given support to continue to lobby and advocate for the improvements of Route 100. And the reality is Route 100 is, you know, an integral part of this community. It's the gateway to this community, but it's not only the gateway to this community, it's also the gateway, one of two. There's only two gateways to this province, and that's one of two. And for us as a council, I feel that it's very important that we support that group, and I think sending a letter outlining the ensuring the quality and the removal, since the line painting has started on Route 100. We've got the port there, we've got the Husky site there. There's last year over 14,000 vehicles came in on the Marine Atlantic Ferry. And the data from November the 26th to December the 30th in 2018, it ranged from 2,811 vehicles to 14,721. That's significant traffic. And never mind the line painting and things like that, it's also a safety issue. Because the speeds, we all know of the speeds that are happening on that highway and that route. So I'm just asking council if they'll support us sending a letter outlining the request that came from Route 100.
Maybe you might have missed it, Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I did not.
Because I spoke that, yes, with the Route 100 committee, that there was discussion with them to alleviate concerns with the Department of Transportation. So we've sort of done that. And yes, Route 100 is very instrumental in Saskatchewan. The gateway to here, the only access to the Husky site with increased traffic. Just recently, TMSI, a new company is setting up in Argentia, with Argentia freezers, with another shipping and trucking, and again, as well as, you know, the Marine Atlantic Ferry service. So very well traveled road and needing very much attention. And government has certainly been made aware and will continue to make them aware of this concern. Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Just to follow up on that, myself and the Public Works Supervisor had a conversation on that today, asking to send something to Christian Morrissey, who is the supervisor for this area, to follow up with that, with the quality of the line painting. And the line painting throughout all the towns of Essentia, but more importantly, getting that done first, because I know they're started. So we did have some, we had some correspondence on that today. We had some correspondence on ditching through Route 100 and ditching throughout the town. I think there's about 15 items on a list right now that we got, and probably more to be added to send out to Transportation Works. And I reiterated to Mr. Murphy, the chair of Route 100, if he had any concerns, he feel free to pass it along, and we would add them to the list for the Transportation Works surveys for the summer. He asked to see our list when it's completed, and I got no problem passing that along. So I also asked him if there's anything he had, certainly passed along to us. So I actually spent about probably about a week and a half ago, 4 hours just walking around the town, identifying ditching areas, and identifying stuff that Transportation Works could look after. And I have copied the notes and passed them on to the Public Works Supervisor, and we'll get them in a survey to Transportation Works. All right.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Smith.
Yeah, I'd just like to remind our citizens who have business and the business closes to advise in writing right away. There's quite a few requests to adjust business taxes, and the business one goes like 8 or 9 or 10 months ago. So just a reminder that they need to tell us in writing, and then the date of the letter will be the date their business tax will be readjusted.
Yes, the meter keeps ticking. If you did not notify the town that you're no longer in business, we do not know, and to make an adjustment, we can only make an adjustment according to the policy based upon you advising us that the date that it ceased to operate. Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Collins-Power.
Just a couple of dates again, just to remind our residents and this council, most of us will be, I think, our community cleanup on the 25th. And yeah, I had those right in front of me, but the barbecue, and I somehow missed that on my piece of June the 6th, as you said, I'm glad to hear that consultations happen with the pool, because I know there's been a lot of, during election time too, specifically, I know there's a lot of Facebook chatter about what's happening with the pool, and I'm not going to see the pool, and we are going to see the pool, and hopefully people will come to that and give their concerns and what the wish list is for the wellness center. June 26th, like I said, is our community consultation. Also, the Age Friendly is the May 30th. I know there's a lot of events planned for that, May 31st to June 1st. And I did have, I'm glad to see the cleanup crew is on the go, because I know Councillor Donald today, like the Deputy Mayor said, first thing I see in Dunwell's garbage bags all along the road. And then as I got further in, I'm thinking that one crew must start at one end, one crew started at the other, because then there's just a place where there's no garbage bag. So it's great to see that they're out, and hopefully our residents will get on that bandwagon and, clean up around their area. And, if you're out around and you're out for a walk, you see some garbage, unfortunately, hopefully people can pick it up and we can keep the momentum going and keep the town clean. It sure would be nice down the road if Placentia could have a sign, you know, that tidy towns, I know that incentive is now gone, that program, but even something different, it'd be nice for Placentia to get on that. And I'm glad to see that we're dealing with dilapidated properties again, beautification, and also I think there's also something in the works for looking at the RVs around as well, so there's been a lot of complaints about that, so I'm glad to see that that's helping with that. Something not related to town, but they're also on the weekend if the weather is, hopefully the weather's favorable after the cleanup. On Sunday the 26th, I know that the Family Worship Center has a bike parade, so any little children out there, they got their bikes on the go now, and there's going to be a bike parade and a family garden party at 1 to 3, and there's going to be bouncy castle games, and so we'll get the summer weather will stick around and families can get out around and enjoy it. That will be at the, it says here at Placentia Ball Field, so somewhere up, I guess, near the, going toward Lawrence Manor in there. So, yeah, just so people are aware and all that, they don't my boyfriend,
Get out my training wheels.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Collins. Okay, thank you all. No other further business. Call for motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Smith, second Councillor Collins. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.